Hello out there and welcome back to my channel. Edward here, aka Proghat. I hope you're having a good week. I'm looking forward because this week I'm off for a couple of days. And so I wanted to jump on here since this is the last day of February and show my February pickups for this month. But also, I won a contest. And so I used the prize money to get a couple of things to add to my collection, and I'd like to start off by showing those. Um, I haven't listened to this, but I'm excited about these. I got a remastered version of Thin Lizzy, the live album Live and Dangerous, which has always been one of my favorite live albums. Real quickly here, it starts off with Jailbreak, Southbound, Emerald, can't talk, excuse me. Rosalie, which is a remake of a Bob Seger song. And I love the live version of Dancing in the Moonlight, where there is a saxophone part in the song and you hear that. So that was what I used. And I also picked up with the prize money that I won. I haven't listened to this, but I got Gary Numan's self-titled album with the band Tubeway Army. And I cannot wait to listen to this. I saw when I was looking at the back of this album, I didn't realize that Gary Numan plays guitars. Oh, at least on this album. But I was talking to Stephen Sneed about this album, and he was saying that this is one of his albums back in the day of his early punk years. So I'm really looking forward to listening to this. He was an artist, Gary Numan, just real quickly here, that I thought his first album was the album that had the big hit Cars. But it turns out, no, he had some previous records before. Then I started seeing him as a young kid when I was back in like junior high. I would see his earlier records like this one and didn't think anything about it. Didn't really make the connection that, hey, wait a minute, that's the same guy. But so I'm really excited about using the prize money that I won in the contest to pick this up. And it's a self-titled album, like I mentioned, and it's on It says that it's on a marble blue vinyl, so that's cool. Another thing that I picked up. Now some of these are the rest of the stuff that I've picked up and found in various places, thrift store, a few at my record store. But I picked up the Art Pepper Meets the Rhythm section, which is put out by the Craft Recordings, and I really have enjoyed the sound of these records. They sound really good to me, and I've have no problems or no issues with them. I haven't got a chance to open this, but tomorrow I'll be listening to this while enjoying a cup of coffee. But yeah, glad to have that. Next is when I was in my record store one day, they were playing this, and when I went back, they still had it. It's the Gun Club, and I like what I heard off this album. Now, this is from a radio broadcast program that was over the radio, but when you hear this record, it does not sound like that. It sounds really good live recording. I plan to get into this band more and pick up some more of their records. But if you see this, I highly recommend this. I know some folks are not into live, but I do. I like live. Because one thing that I looked at it is that hearing it live is how the band meant for the song to sound live. That's the way I look at it. And I just like hearing live recordings. Next, I found this album, and I think this is the gentleman who does a song that I like called Got My Mind or Messed Up or some old blues song like that. I used to have it on CD, but I don't know what I did with it. But I found a really nice cheap copy of James Cotton Blues Band, harmonica player and singer. The record's in really good shape. It's on that red orange looking Capitol Records. Blues Band, Taking Care of Business. Taking Care of Business. So I need to clean that one up before it starts to hit the turntable. Next, I couldn't believe this one because you don't ever see too many Earth, Wind, and Fire albums out there around where I live used. Maybe where everyone else says you do, but to find the double album of theirs, Faces, was a really cool find. It's a gatefold. I'm not really familiar with this album, but I do like Earth, Wind, and Fire. I heard my mom play a lot of their music when I was a kid. She had quite a few of their albums on 8-track, but I don't even remember. I don't recognize anything that was one of their hits. But Faces by Earth, Wind, and Fire. There's a guy that does a radio program on like a kind of like college radio, and he plays a lot of rhythm and blues, some funk and soul, and some obscurity type. But he always puts in his set, he is a big fan of Earth, Wind, and Fire, and that's how he says, and that was a song by Earth, Wind, and Fire, something like that. But anyway, then I found this, and it needs cleaning, and it needs a new inner sleeve, but Leningrad Jazz, featuring Miles Davis. To me, this is a nice little find to find out there in the wild, as looking for records. But it does need a cleaning. The record's in really nice shape. But let me just show it here real quick. It's a 3i Columbia. It's stereo, but it's real nice. I'm going to give that a good little spin clean and spin that one. This other album that I found is Emmylou Harris, the Ballad of Sally Rose. Not familiar with this record, but I love Emmylou Harris. She's such a beautiful singer. But found this out there. It's in really good shape. Grabbed it for, I think it was like a couple of bucks or something. This next record I won on an auction, but I don't remember which auction. This is Rank and File. Taking a band from the 80s or something. This is their album called Long Gone Dead. It's on Slash Records. It was a blind buy, but it sounded really interesting. And I like the album cover. So I got it. And I'll come back and talk a little bit more about this record. Next was for me, a soundtrack grail, because this is one movie that still has that scene in it that I'll never forget. It is really creepy, scary, but there's a part in this movie where they show, it's like this man is starting to have these images flash through his mind. But let me just show what it is. It's the movie Altered States. I have it on soundtrack. I found the soundtrack, and my wife got it for me. I love the music. It's dark on here. It's really, really good. And these are some of the images from the movie. It's really a tripped out, artsy type movie. And it used to be the property of the University of Texas, which is real cool. And then I turned it over here, and it's I don't know if you can see that very well, but it's a promo. The music is just fabulous. It's my kind of type of soundtrack music. Starring William Hurt, who I do like as an actor. But all these experiences and images, but the one that really tripped me out as a kid is there's a scene where it's like a sheep or goat or lamb, but when they focus on its face, it has all these little bitty millions of eyes. And when I saw that freaked me out as a kid, and it still does. But Altered States, I haven't seen the movie in a while. I don't own it, but I plan to pick it up because I do remember liking the movie. It kind of reminds me a little bit like of Jacob's Ladder. I don't know if you folks ever are familiar with that movie, but yeah, I do have it now. Altered States. What a album cover. I love the album art. Well, folks, I hope y'all are all doing well out there. This is my end of the month vinyl update with Live and Dangerous. I still want this on vinyl because it's a gatefold and I like double live albums that are gatefolds. But this is so good. It sounds really good. Good CD quality. The CD is that old school, well, it's the vertical, as you can see right there. But so there you go, folks. I was glad to win that contest, and now I got to add that Gary Newman and the Thin Lizzy CD to my collection. Again, I want to thank everyone out there. I really appreciate the comments. Got a few more new subs, so thank y'all out there to all my subscribers from the bottom of my heart. I'll see you on my next video. Take care, everybody.